Steve Angeli is out the season. And make no mistake, he will be very, very difficult to replace. He was on pace to have an all ACC season in 2025. His numbers, 63% completion percentage, over 1,300 passing yards, 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And that's in 3 3/4 games because he missed a full quarter plus in the win versus Clemson. That's when he suffered the injury. So what now for Syracuse? Well, it stinks. We've already gone over that. We have established that it's awful that Steve Angeli went down with a season-ending injury. But it's also football. And injuries happen, and the games are still going to happen. And look, the opponents on Syracuse's schedule, I'm sure they feel sorry for Steve Angeli. But you know what? They're still going to go out there and try to beat Syracuse football. And so if you're Syracuse football, you still got to go out there and do your best to win these games. And it's now Rickie Collins' chance to prove that he belongs, that he is a starting quarterback for a power conference team, that he has the ability to actually do it. Let's take a trip down memory lane with Rickie Collins, because I think the backstory with him is very, very important to the present. Remember December of 2024? Syracuse coming off a 10-win season, the first 10-win season since 2018. Well, Syracuse in the offseason was looking for a new starting quarterback, and we knew they were going to go in the transfer portal to find one. Kyle McCord, who had done an outstanding job, was out of college eligibility. So you needed to find a new quarterback. And Fran Brown found a former 4-star recruit out of LSU back in 2023, Rickie Collins. Rickie Collins arrives on campus. It is assumed that he is going to be the starting quarterback of Syracuse, but it is not guaranteed. Fran Brown does not guarantee anyone anything except an opportunity, but he's not going to sit there and say, hey, we're going to play you right away. No. You have to earn it on Fran Brown teams. That's one of the main things that I love about Syracuse's head coach, that he makes all of his players earn the job that they have. He holds everyone accountable. Rickie Collins, to his credit, he wins Syracuse's starting job in the spring. He beats out Michael Johnson Jr., who is now with Akron. He beats out Jakari Williams, a redshirt freshman, and he beats out a couple of true freshmen as well in Luke Carney and Rich Bellin. Now, we don't need to dive too much into what happened after that. Long story short, Steve Angeli transfers to Syracuse from Notre Dame, and in a very close fall camp battle, he beats out Rickie Collins, making Rickie Collins Syracuse's second-string quarterback in 2025. Let's go over why you should have some optimism with Rickie Collins. There are a few reasons for this. Number one, he's got some mobility, and we've actually already seen Rickie Collins' mobility a little bit so far this season. We saw in the Colgate game, they called a couple of design runs for him, and he ended up with 19 yards on 3 carries. And I do expect that offensive coordinator Jeff Nixon, who is a very good offensive coordinator, by the way, to slightly adjust the game plan to try to play to Rickie Collins' strengths. He is probably a better runner than Steve Angeli. And so with that being said, use Rickie Collins' mobility. The other thing about Rickie Collins that should give you some optimism, and it's not necessarily about Rickie Collins himself, although it's a little bit about him because he definitely has talent, former 4-star recruit, that should not be ignored. But think about what is around him. And we've kind of already gone over this. The support system at Syracuse now, it is set up for Rickie Collins to succeed. You have arguably the best offensive coordinator in the ACC, if not the entire country, calling plays for you in Jeff Nixon. That's a good start. You have an offensive line that seems to be getting better every single week. probably just had their best performance of the season against Clemson. You have wide receivers galore across the board. They are essentially plug and play with Syracuse football. You have a great tight end now in Dan Villari, who has emerged as an all-conference player this season. You have a running back in Yassine Willis, who is definitely taking a nice step forward in his second season of collegiate football. The support system is there for Rickie Collins to succeed. He's got talent, and he's also got mobility. One reason for maybe a little bit of concern, I guess, and I'll admit, we don't have much tape on Rickie Collins, so it's hard to judge it. But I do wonder if the accuracy is there with Rickie Collins. We remember the Colgate game when he came in and he threw an awful interception where it was just a terribly overthrown pass. I mean, it was one of the more inaccurate footballs I have ever seen a quarterback throw. Now, was it nerves? The fact that he was coming in for the first time all season? Maybe. It could have been nerves. That's fine. Maybe it was nerves, right? There was also a play against Clemson that I want to point out as well. It was a 3rd and 6 in the fourth quarter. Now, to Syracuse's credit and to Rickie Collins' credit, they did convert this play in the fourth quarter. It was early in the final period. Rickie Collins on a 3rd and 6 drops back, and he hits Justice Ross Simmons on a shallow cross for a first down. But it was one of those passes where it was a little bit behind Justice Ross Simmons, so it was a tougher catch for him to make, but also a catch that you expect a Division I wide receiver to make, like Justice Ross Simmons. And hey, he made the catch. And I should also point out that the throw he made to Justice Ross Simmons, back shoulder in the end zone, I thought it was money. I know some of you may have seen that play differently than I did. I thought it was a money throw by Rickie Collins in a big spot. So what's the confidence level now with Rickie Collins? Feel free to comment your thoughts in the comments section below. But I am more confident than not that Rickie Collins is going to succeed with Syracuse football. I can't promise you that he is going to be Steve Angeli or Kyle McCord before him, that he's going to be on that level. But keep in mind, this was someone who was neck and neck, apparently, in fall camp, according to the coaches and the players involved. It was a very close race, and Steve Angeli won it in the end, but it was very close. And so is it really that much of a drop-off between Steve Angeli and Rickie Collins? That's the million-dollar question. That's the question that is going to be answered on Saturday against the Duke Blue Devils. But as of right now, I think of all the factors. The talent is there out of high school, 4-star recruit to LSU. The support system is there. The fact that he was so close to winning the starting job, the fact that he was originally the starting quarterback of Syracuse football, gives me plenty of reason to believe that Rickie Collins is going to succeed with this opportunity. And hopefully he does, because we'll discuss later on in the show, if he can still succeed with, if he can succeed with Syracuse and play at a high level, this is definitely a team that can compete in the ACC.